So do you love the Fireballer but want to go real fast? If you do, this lady right here is for you, the 200 FCR Fireballer. Now, if we look right up here, actually 200 FCR is the top breakpoint that's even in the game, that's even possible to get to here for the Sorceress. You see Lightning and Chain Lightning are on a different breakpoint frame, but for every other spell, including Fireball, we got the 63, the 105, which is kind of the standard to go to, but if you want to step that FCR up a notch, step your teleporting speed up and your Fireball casting, get to that 200. Now, how did we put this together right here? It's pretty standard as a max fighter build, just enough strength to wear your gear, and you can tell we have a spirit on because we got just over the 156 and we got bumped up a little bit higher with the gear, and then we have all the rest into vitality. Go ahead and cap your resistances out as well. Skill tree is pretty easy because we're just only strictly really paying attention to Fireball, so we get the 1-point wonders of Frozen Armor, pretty obvious. The lightning skills, we got 1 into telekinesis to get down to teleport, and if you wanted to, you could put 1 into static. I chose not to because when I'm blasting away, really it only takes like 2 or 3 shots and they're dead, so you don't really need the static. But if you wanted to, feel free. I would not blame you putting 1 into static right there. Over in the fire skill tree is where almost everything else is going. So obviously Fireball is the skill we're using. We want to cap out all of its synergies and fire mastery. So that's what we got: 20 into Fireball, we got 20 into Fire Bolt, we've got 20 into Meteor, which you could use as well since they are all synergies of each other. And then we go ahead and have Fire Mastery. Generally, I only use Fireball, but maybe in some player 8 instances, you would want to use Meteor. Now, with the remaining points left over, there could be something over here, Frozen Armor you want to pump up, or I don't know, get the huge static increase, or maybe even dual spec in some manner. But I'm strictly only going Fireball. And since I do not have an insight on this character, I decided to pump up Warmth. And with the total number of points that I have, 19 base points into Warmth. So now we'll jump into the gear here, and there's not going to be a lot of other options in these spots because you literally have to have a lot of this stuff in order to get to the 200 FCR breakpoint. So right here we have Heart of the Oak. It has 40 FCR. Technically, there would be a way to go ahead and use an Oculus here. It only has 30 FCR, but we'll talk about that when we jump up to the headpiece right here, actually. So we have a 220 Diadem right here, a rare one. 2 to Sorcerer skills, we stuck a facet in it. Now, what you could do is you could throw on a Griffin's Eye up here. Even though I know it is made for lightning builds, it has the minus lightning res on it. It actually has 25 FCR, which would, instead of us, we're actually technically on this build getting to the 205 is where FCR falls. We only need to get to 200. If you went Oculus and then you had a Griffin's Eye, this would fall exactly on 200 with everything else we have right here. But it requires an incredibly expensive perfect amulet. If not, you have to kind of go with this setup here. Speaking of amulet over here, we actually have a 220 Sorceress amulet. Now, like I said, we're at 205 FCR on this build because I have a 20 FCR amulet. You could have a 215 amulet or anywhere between there, in fact. So that would get us over the 200 FCR breakpoint. Also, like I mentioned, if you did this setup with Heart of the Oak, Griffin's Eye, and then you could have a 210 technically here and still get to the 200, or have this 20 FCR and the Oculus. So that's pretty much the only places where you can really alter anything, and you got to have either one specific setup on the other side or kind of this specific setup I have here. Taking a look at the armor, you pretty much have to have Viper Magi here, and since we're going with as fast as possible, I went ahead and stuck a facet in here if you wanted to get a little more magic find. If you're that kind of person, so inclined, you could go topazes there, getting you, what, 30 a piece, so an extra 60 magic find. We'll take a look at what that falls at later. Down on the gloves, we got Mage Fist. It's fire skills, so you definitely want to go Mage Fist. I guess technically you could use Trance Gloves. In this instance, I would definitely go with these. Now on the rings, we actually have 2 FCR rings right here. You kind of have to in order to get it up over that 200. You think maybe you'd want more skills from the SOJs or something, but you just can't quite get to the 200 without FCR rings here. Now we have a Arachnid's Mesh, pretty obvious skills and FCR right there. And then we do get a little bit of magic find over here on the War Travelers, kind of bumping it up to where we finally land. So jumping down into the inventory, now we have a Geed's Torch and Annie here. Of course, you got to get those 3. We have Fire Skillers here. These are all absolutely amazing, perfect ones. And then we have 7 magic find small charms. And these ones are also res ones as well. If I forgot to mention it, I also do have a Spirit Monarch over here. Pretty obvious. Pretty much everyone realized that as soon as they seen the build. And then over on swap here, we have Call to Arms and of course another Spirit in order to get, you know, those battle orders a little bit better. Now for the Mercenary, usually we're going to go with the Act 2. We decided to go Cold right here. And we have Infinity and Darl's Visage and Fortitude. Pretty obvious setup. when you're going for like the best possible mercenary here to get the most damage output. And we'll go ahead and take a look at, like I said, the advanced stat page here. See, we only have 170 magic find. Like I said, there's a few other ways you can get that up over 200. It depends on your build, depends what you want to do. But I think with the way this one is set up, this is what I want to go with. And you see right here, 205 FCR. So technically you do need to get to just 200, and we are definitely over that. So let's go test this out. And let's say you want to set up a character and only use it for one specific area. Where would it be? A fireballer? Well, we have the catacombs. So Andariel is terrorized. This would be a great setup to just go ahead and just boom, you got it set permanently. As soon as the catacombs become terrorized, you can go out and slap Andariel down as fast as possible. Convenient enough for me, it looks like somehow Andy's terrorized right now. It's not like I went ahead and changed the clock on my PC to go ahead and have it be catacombs terrorized just for this video, did I? Now, first of all, it's almost comical how fast this thing teleports. Now, I don't know if you ever seen sorceresses go this fast, but zoom, zoom, zoom. This isn't a perfect map. It's not very close. But yeah, look how fast you can get down there. And really, travel time can really limit how much you can actually find. Every 30 seconds you're traveling is 30 seconds you're not farming Andariel, you're not getting a drop. So the faster you move, the more drops you get. And then go ahead and look at this kill speed. That's P1 just blasted instantly. If you're online, really you're not going to be running Andariel, having people come into your game and then going down and killing her. People come into your game, you zip down to kill her in 10 seconds. So really P1, those blast this fast, that's how it's going to look for you online. This is just players one, like I said. All right, let's go ahead and see one run the entire length right here. How fast could you run Andariel even on this terrible, just super long map? A little bit of a skill issue there, teleporting around back and forth. Good old Tal's mask, nice. So yeah, that's how fast you can get down here and just blast her away. Now we got to set to players 3. How fast is this going to be? Yeah, still that fast. Ooh, Haliburt's Rain? Nice. Now, players 3, a lot of people will say on offline single player, that's what they want to run it on. So we went and test that out. But hey, let's see what a players 8 game would look like with this build. Now, max players difficulty. Let's go ahead and see. And yeah, P8, that's pretty dang fast. And remember, that was no static. That was just fireball blasting at 200 FCR. But you're not only stuck farming Andariel, there's several other places you can use this, and it works absolutely great. Here we are, Stony Tombs. The only thing that's going to give you a little bit of a problem is how fast you actually teleport. It takes a second to get used to. So this is players 1, which if you're elite sniping, that's perfectly fine. Like Holy Grailin', just hoping to blast those champions, hoping they drop you that, you know, Tyrael's Might. But yeah, literally the hardest part is really just trying to get used to how fast you teleport and how fast the thing blasts away. So there we go. That's a full Stony Tomb clear in, I don't know, not even a minute. So I know that was P1 though, Phil, but hey, now we're on players 8 difficulty. Still just absolutely blasts. We're at essentially 1 fireball per monster still. Still just absolutely rips them down. That's as hard as it gets, fellas. That's as hard as it gets. I guess that champion technically took 2 fireballs. I moved on a little bit too quick. But man, this looks like what most characters look like on P1. I'm going to be perfectly honest. If there's any way you would alter this based upon your own preferences, let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe up before you go. Huge shout out to the channel members and also the Twitch subs. And hey, everyone over on Patreon as well. All the people that support this channel through those different types of memberships and things like that. Honestly, you do make it possible for me to keep streaming and making these videos here on this YouTube channel. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.